sumu kwenye jambo la kambali. Kuna jela noma sana. Kuna jela. Minachojua pesa karatasi, minachojua pesa karatasi, minachojua pesa karatasi, ni maua. Pesa karatasi, ni maua. Wale walosema utoboi leo wako wapi? Walosema utoboi leo wako wapi? Wapite kule, wapite kule, wapite kule. Wale walosema utoboi leo wako wapi? Walosema utoboi leo wako wapi? Wapite kule, wapite kule, wapite kule. Sisi sio milima, tutakutana. Sisi ni people, tutaonana. Sisi sio milima, tutakutana. Tukiwa kama people, itaumana. Mke wa mtu sumu kwenye jambo la mtu kambali. Mume wa mtu sumu kwenye jambo la mtu kambali. Kuna jela noma sana. Kuna jela. The Mix Killer. It's lonely at the top. Money on my mind. Don't care what they yarning about me in particular. Call me. Out here on the road chasing my dream because I know I'm chasing for me. Ololola de mango my love. Orokoto idisho my love. If you want to let Jack come alone, no to find anybody na money I want. No they hear what the people they love. Want to get a shakeleti love. It's a love when I wanna get another one. I go take and do waiting I love. Waiting you love, oh. No be waiting I love, oh. Waiting I love, I go do one without my heart, oh. Go no be vodka. Mr. Money Ginger. But when I know the ways that Mr. Money Ginger. Just carry on, there be no time. Bad boy day, me I dey fine. And at the same time, me I dey high.
Alright, good evening everyone and welcome to today's assembly. If you're just joining in, it is the AYE Entrepreneurs Assembly. Welcome everyone. I'm so excited. Like I can feel the excitement in the air already. Welcome everyone to today's assembly. So if you have people that are yet to join us, please kindly call them and tell them the assembly is live. We're live and we have started already. So for a few minutes while the admin gives us a little bit of music, go on your status and tell your friends, your families, your business partners that we are live. Thank you, admin.
Just carry on, there be no time. Bad boy day, me I dey fine. And at the same time, me I dey high. But to the top, stand out, calm down, you go dey fine. Like fine wine, no decline. Sick about it, extraordinary things. Show me love, I go show you more. Oboshe, ọmọ yìí don teja ṣerékélé mú fọ́ fàyè, yeah. Ọlọ́ládé máa ń gbọ́mọ lọ, kọ̀rọ̀kọ̀tọ̀ ìdí ṣọmọ lọ. Ẹ fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ jẹ́ kó máa lọ, no dey find anybody na money I want. No dey hear wetin people dey talk. Wọ́n ti gbé Àṣàkẹ́ létí lọ. See love and I wanna get another one. I go take and do wetin I love, wetin you love, oh. Baby, wetin I love, oh. Wetin I love, I go do am with all my heart, oh. Ogogoro no be vodka, Mr. Money Changer. But una know I no dey waste time, Mr. Money Changer.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining in. I can see that many of us are already joined in already. So thank you. Thank you very much for joining in. It is the assembly and we are live. So very quickly, we'll be watching a short video on how to attend a Zoom meeting.
How to attend an online video meeting. Number 1, always stay in the center of the screen. Your face should be in the middle of the screen, not at the top or at the bottom of the screen. Number 2, your camera should always be at face level, maintaining a distance of 30 centimeters or an arm length from the screen. Number 3, your lighting should always be in front of you, not behind you. Number 4, always use the landscape option when using the video call option on your phone. Number 5, your background should be simplistic with plain decor. This keeps the attention of the audience focused on you. Number 6, always make sure there are no moving objects or people behind you while you're in an active meeting. Number 7, always keep your camera on. It is considered unprofessional and in most gatherings unacceptable to leave your camera turned off. Number 8, remember to switch off your mic or mute it when not actively participating in a conversation or dialogue. Number 9, always check to make sure your name and company name appear on the window tab. Number 10, always try to be still. Avoid making too many movements or fidgeting during a meeting. Number 11, eating food or having a snack during a video session is considered rude and indecent. However, having a glass of water, tea, or coffee is acceptable. Number 12, when speaking, also try to maintain a normal tone or pitch. Never shout or speak erratically. Number 13, be on time and ready. Make sure you have everything set up 10 minutes ahead of the appointed time. Number 14, always look smart. Dress appropriately, you never know who's watching. Number 15, always let the team know when you're done speaking by indicating I'm done or thank you. Number 16, do not exceed your time limit. Number 17, always have your pen and notepad ready so you can take down important points and highlights of the meeting. This is very important. Number 18, make sure all the necessary devices are functional and running, such as your mic, camera, speakers, and internet connection. Also check your device battery status to make sure they are fully charged. Number 19, always stay focused and attentive during the meeting. Avoid multitasking so you don't get yourself and others distracted. Number 20, most importantly, try to be yourself. Stay calm and smile. Thank you. This video was brought to you by Africa's Young Entrepreneurs, AYE, the largest entrepreneurship network in Africa.
Okay, Thank you so much, admin, for that video. And now for people that are just joining us, the essence of the video is to educate us on how to attend a Zoom meeting. Okay, so right about now, we'll be taking the creed. The creed for me is one of the exciting part of the assembly I always look forward to. So to assist us in taking the creed today is my very own sister, Tinuoye Fayomi.
Thank you very much, Glory. Yeah. Thank you very much. And good evening, everyone. I am so glad and I'm so excited to be here this evening. My name is Tinuoye and I'll be leading us on the creed. So we all know how we do the creed. We put our hands together like this. It's to show our love for Africa, it's to show our oneness, and it is also to show our unity in Africa. And just as our topic for today's assembly, that Africa is the future. So we are the future. So I'm going to be saying it and you're going to be repeating after me. Thank you very much. So let's start. I am an African young entrepreneur.
I am an African young entrepreneur.
I believe in Africa.
I believe in Africa.
I am in love with Africa.
I am in love with Africa.
I am proud of Africa and I will prosper in Africa.
I am proud of Africa and I will prosper
in Africa.
I am an African for a purpose, and for that purpose do I live.
I am an African for a purpose, and for that purpose do I live.
I believe in the development of our great continent.
I believe in the development of our great continent.
I solemnly promise to uphold the vision.
I solemnly promise to uphold the vision,
values, and goals of Africa's Young Entrepreneurs Organization.
Values and goals of Africa's Young Entrepreneurs Organization.
I promise to love and support my fellow Africans.
I promise to love and support my fellow Africans.
I promise to promote a united Africa everywhere I go.
I promise to promote a united Africa everywhere I go.
Because I believe that.
Because I believe that.
If you can achieve this much alone,
how much more can we achieve together?
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, everyone.
At night we name every star. We know where we are. We know who we are, who we are. Away, away. We set a course to find a brand new island everywhere we roll. Away, away. We keep our island in our mind. And when it's time to find home, we know the way.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much once again for joining today's assembly. So specifically, I want to thank our first timers for joining in today. So for those of us that are just joining for the first time, it is the AYE Entrepreneurs Assembly. I would like to tell us a little bit of what our community is all about. So the African Young Entrepreneurs is the largest entrepreneurship network in Africa with footprint in over 20 African countries. Since the year 2012, the AYE has identified, it has showcased and empowered emerging young entrepreneurs to either scale up their businesses with relevant resources such as business funding, executive masterclass in entrepreneurship development, mentorship, and of course, networking. Our vision, of course, is to develop and empower young entrepreneurs while also eradicating poverty, giving of job creation and making of economic development. Our mission, of course, is to build a platform where young African entrepreneurs like ourselves can come together to collaborate, trade, and train ourselves to become better and great in so as also compete in various developed countries. Now, for those of us who are not yet active members of the organization, we are missing out a lot. But of course, there's always an opportunity every Saturday to become an active member of the assembly. Now, the link has been dropped in the chat box below. So for those of us who want to become active members, please visit www.ayeorganization.com to become an active member so that you can enjoy all the benefits that we have and much more. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I welcome you to today's assembly. Thank you.
Step into the sun. There is more to see than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever be done. Ooh, there is far too much to take in here, more to find they can never be found. But the sun rolling high through the sapphire sky keeps great and small on the endless round. It's the circle of life, and it moves us on through the spirit pole. And love till we find a place on that path unwinding in the circle of life.
Oh, yes, it is the circle of life. Yes, it is a place where Africans like yourself and myself come together in a space to collaborate, to network, and also share great ideas. So very quickly, I'll be taking our testimonials. But before I do that, I want to say thank you to Mr. President for last week's teaching. It's a lecture that I've gone over and over again to just listen to it, and I've heard people say wonderful things about last week's assembly. So thank you so much, Mr. President. Now, today is because of our time, I'll be taking just 2 testimonials. So first Saturday is the time where we get to present our testimonials by ourselves. But if you like your testimonial to be read on the assembly every other Saturday, please kindly look, the admin will be dropping the link, the email for the testimonials on the chat group, so you can send in your testimonials via that link. So I have this from Bisola Bakari. Bisola Bakari says, all I have to say today is thank you, Mr. President, for always coming through with your messages. They are always divine. They are messages from God through you to always come to my rescue. She says, what touched me the most is the willpower of all disappointment. Is the willpower of all disappointment is the same muscle that would build you and keep you going. And as you fall and stand up in life, are you holding on to your gold? She says, these words never left me. That is from Bisola. Bisola is saying, thank you so much, Mr. President. Now, this is from Yobi. Yobi says, good evening, everyone. It feels so good to be here at the assembly again. I understand that feeling, Yobi. Since last week's message left me thinking about so many things. But one statement got me, which is, at the point of death, your past wounds or scars can be your only saving chance that you have. And he says, thank you, Mr. President, for last week's teaching. That is from Yobi. So Yobi and Bisola, as well as every one of us here, is saying thank you so much to Mr. President for such a wonderful teaching we had last week. God bless you, sir, and we appreciate you. So yes, it is the time that we've all been waiting for. The topic is one that I look forward to hearing from Mr. Kenneth Sharp about. But then very quickly, to join me in introducing the speaker for today is my very own sister, Okpeyemi.
Thank you very much, Glory. Thank you.
You're welcome. You look very stunning, by the way.
Thank you very much. And you've also been doing a very amazing job. Well done. Good evening, everyone. It's so good to be here again. Just like Yobi said, it feels so good to be at the assembly again. It's usually a very exciting time when you hear that it is time to come to the assembly. All right. And I trust that we are having a good moment already. So not to waste our time, we are going to quickly go to the business of the day. But before I go on, I have a special assignment to carry out. Glory is already smiling. Okay, we all know that since the assembly started, we've always had Mr. President attend every single session with us without missing out on any session, and also making sure that no event at all is strong enough to take the place of the assembly. Like some would even remember that he had left so many engagements before, just to witness the aura, the presence, the oneness that we share at the Entrepreneurs Assembly. And it is just the spirit of oneness, the spirit of this bond, it's so strong, but should I say, fortunately or unfortunately, Mr. President is unavoidably absent today. Right now, as I speak to you all, is on a very important official assignment, not just him, but together with some of the team members on this particular trip. So he sent his love to us. Of course, we all know that Mr. President loves us so much, and he wouldn't trade us for anything in the world. So right now, I want us to reciprocate that love by showing, by sharing on our screen the love emoji. Let us tell Mr. President, we love you too. Thank
Yes,
you.
while we do that, he's in a flight right now, but he's very much with us. He's live with us. He's connected. So, but it's just that he can't do what we normally see him to do physically at the moment. So, yes, Mr. President, we love you and we miss you physically.
Yes, I can see the love emoji coming up. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, admin. Thank you, everyone. Please, let's keep the love coming up. Let's keep the love coming up. All right. Mr. President, this is from us to you. We love you too. And we are also with you in the spirit. Of course, we know that you're actually with us right now. And you can see what we are doing already. Just that you cannot, unmute your mic and, do what you would normally do and give us the energy. But
okay,
course,
so very quickly, Opeyemi, he's on a very big and important assignment, not just for himself now, but for the AYE in general. He's at the WTO. He's representing us and everybody at the WTO. Of course, we know that event is such a very big one. So yes, so thank you, Mr. President. We see what you are doing for us and we love you. He sends his love. He says he loves us all. Thank you so much.
Yes, love you too. We love you too. We love you. We love every single team member on this trip with you, sir. We love you. We love you very, very much. So without wasting much of our time, it is time to do what we are here to do and to, okay, sir. All right. So let's get at it. All right. So, okay. We are with you too, sir. All right. Okay. So it is about that time that we get to do why we are here and what we are here for. And many of us witnessed Mr. Kenneth Sharp last month, where it was around last month to have this fireside chat session with the president and of course with 4 other African entrepreneurs from their respective countries. And it was so powerful that we all wanted him to be back. And of course, he accepted that request. And he chose to come back, and that is why we are having him around again today with the topic, Africa is the future. Glory, during the week, I had gotten a lot of DMs on this particular topic, and I'm like, no, I cannot wait to hear about everything Mr. Ken, we want to say and we want to tell us right now about how Africa is the future. And of course, we've got so many resources.
I think I feel you on that too as well. I had like 2 people say the same thing, and I'm like, I really can't wait for all that he has to say to us today. Like, I'm very, very expectant.
Thank you very much. And that is why we are going to be welcoming Mr. Kenneth. I can see him smiling already. I know one thing I like about him is that he smiles a lot. He's got a very, very big smile. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Africa's entrepreneurs, every single entrepreneur in this room, with the AYE clap, if you're not clapping, it's not coming. If you're not clapping, it's not gonna come. Okay, thank you, Jim. Thank you, Williams. Thank you, everyone. With the AYE clap, help me, assist me, support me as I make welcome Mr. Kenneth Sharp as he takes over the microphone. Thank you very much. You can unmute your mic. Thank you. Thank you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you, Opeyemi. I can't beat your smile. I can try, but you have the best smile on this call today. It's great to be with all tonight. Thank you for having me. And without further ado, let me get into what I want to talk about tonight. And really, how do we make Africa the future? And in tonight's talk, I'm going to talk about 3 things. 1, taking ownership as a leader. 2, servant leadership. And 3, goal execution and the 4 leadership dimensions. And I'm just going to put my timer on because I believe the president gave me 20 minutes to talk, and I need to actually exit the call in 25 minutes from now because I have a dinner appointment in London with someone who's come up to see me. So we all know the demographics of Africa, and that shows a very clear, positive picture of what I call the hope of the youth. And I'll close this talk with more about the youth. But for now, let me take you to Zimbabwe, who recently held local, national, and presidential elections. People went to the polls in their millions, in a spirit of calm peace, and with almost no violence. Yet in that fierce battle, there arose some very closely competed numbers from both sides, which always, as is the case in almost every country in the world, makes it very difficult for one leader to emerge as the winner and leave everyone else satisfied with that result. Unfortunately, in all cases, it leaves many people dissatisfied and feeling cheated out. Now that the official announcement of the results are final, it is clear who the winners are and who the losers are. Some wise and magnanimous losers and even winners on both sides have conceded and agreed to work with their opponents in their various constituencies with the intention of making the people their priority in getting service delivery and results from the government, regardless of their different partisan views. And I must compliment those and take my hat off to them and say, this is what it is all about. And this is what is of greatest and most importance and will determine where our country and even our continent goes in the next 5 years. Why do I start with politics for the future of Africa? Well, you know, politics has always been the hot subject of most discussions across the continent for decades now. And in the words of Paul Kagame, who I met some years back in Rwanda, he often said, let me start rather the speech not with an apology, because almost every African politician apologizes for something or the other. Let me rather start my speech with something positive. And instead of saying we're sorry, let's talk about something that we're doing. You see, when I get into that answer of why politics is important, I want you to consider one or two questions. Do you listen to a leader who talks the walk or walks the talk? What do I mean? Let me explain what do I mean by that. What is it to walk the talk? It's easy for politicians during an election campaign to make promises, unlimited, boundless promises to their constituencies that they know they have no ability or maybe even no intention of fulfilling. And they simply make the promise to get voted into the office. We've seen this in Zimbabwe for over 40 years. And why should we expect it to change if that is really the nature of the beast? You can go to more developed democratic societies. Look at the United States of America. The politicians promise everything. I even saw today a social media campaign ad between Biden and Trump, one saying, you know, during my presidency, we're going to bring about this development, and the other one saying, I've already done this development in my presidency. So they're always talking about what they're going to do. But you know, we've waited too long in Africa for some kind of knight in shining armor to come and save us from our situation. And we've relied on politicians for far too long for the solutions to our problems, when the solutions lie within our own minds and our hands. Let me repeat that. Our solutions on the continent of Africa do not depend on the politicians that we either vote into office or don't get into office, but they depend on us as individuals, working together with our minds and our hands to create the solutions for our continent. Therefore, the more practical change is within ourselves, is within our own attitudes and our own mindset to change the things that we have direct control over. This requires us to understand that it is more important to rather judge individuals, both in personal life, politics, and business, based not on their future promises, but rather based on their past performance and their actions, because actions speak louder than words. You've all heard that actions speak louder than words. And now is the time to observe throughout our continent, throughout the countries of Africa, those who have really a vested interest in seeing the people being better off, in Zimbabwe's case, in the next 5 years with our current government, as opposed to those other leaders who are just chasing their own ego and self-interest. And this is not limited to politicians. We see it in all spheres of society. We see it in religion, religious leadership. We see it in NGOs. We see it in educational institutions. We see it in all the aspects and facets of our lives where there are leaders. They get to a position of authority and power, and suddenly it becomes about themselves rather than about the people. Do you think that any elected leaders or any leaders in business, education, the church, or in society should focus on their rights or their responsibilities? Is it about their rights or their responsibilities that they should be focusing on? It's a given that those who seek after only their rights will only consider themselves and abuse the power of their office in the process. Whereas those who focus on their responsibilities in serving the people will focus on executing goals that improve the lives of the people, that bring a better service delivery to the people than what we've seen in the past. This is what we can call and is known as servant leadership. And there are two interesting parts about it. Firstly, to be a leader, and a servant leader in particular, it does not require someone to be elected or appointed into an office or be given a big title to start that position they're in. Anyone can start to make a difference to their constituents and people at any level they are in their organization or society, and directly to the people that is under their direct sphere of influence. And that is regardless of the office they hold. True, the interesting thing is those who seek power and glory by focusing on their elected rights will always neglect their responsibilities to the people. John Maxwell writes in his book that I recently read, Leading in Tough Times, and I quote him, "Leaders who pursue power emphasize rules and regulations that are to their advantage and ignore those that aren't. They also value relationships only based on the benefit it gives to them. Their position in the hierarchy is the only thing that matters. But people who rely on positions and titles are the weakest of all leaders. They expect their position to do the hard work for them in leadership and demand their rights. They give nothing. As a result, their people give their least and only follow them as far as they are required to. The team is not invested because their leader is not invested in them. They lack the motivation and inspiration to do their best work, and therefore the capacity of the team to produce results is very limited." You see, does this above remind you of the many political leaders who viciously fight to get into office, whether they win or lose, and then they don't have much to show for once they've got into office in terms of tangible results achieved for the people? And even those who don't get elected into office will spend the next 5 years complaining why they didn't get into office rather than delivering real results for the people. Change your mindset and develop an attitude of seeing this as it is, because you're the only one to blame for electing people that give you the results you desire, for not giving you the results you desire. Base your future choice on past performance and not on future promises. I would also go on and be bold enough to say, don't be gullible and naive. The way that it's going to happen in the next election, it will continue to happen as in the past if you yourself don't make the change within yourself. Maybe you'll get the people that can really make a difference. But for now, as the saying goes, you get the leaders that you deserve based on your choices. And look out beyond politics for individual leaders in your various communities that are actually doing the work on the ground for the people. These are people that are both elected into government at local, provincial, and national levels, and those from political organizations and even non-political organizations that are not yet elected. They include citizens from all walks of life, including religion, education, health, legal, business, and social organizations, even NGOs, all who have a part to play in society to get the best results in their various fields and spheres of influence. When we all work together in our national interests to put the people first, then it will be easy to choose the leaders whom are able to achieve the results from the preset goals and targets that we've judged them on based on high performance and hard work, as opposed to just empty words that mean nothing. Surely leaders need to be accountable for what they do and what they don't do. In our continent of Africa, we certainly need more doers than sayers. I never intended on reaching any kind of greatness, nor having upon me all the accolades and awards that have been thrusted on me in the company that I own and I'm running in Zimbabwe in the last 3 years. In fact, at my time, I was humbled to go and study at Harvard Business School 4 years ago. I was invited. I was a school dropout at 17. I never completed high school, and I went straight into business. So I've been in business for 33 years. But for some reason, Harvard decided to invite me to come and study and do a 3-year management program, the OPM. And we did a case study. We did many case studies, about 142 case studies, about 3,000 pages of reading. And one case study that I want to share with you is about a certain Captain Scott and Roald Amundsen, who were the two people competing to be the first to reach the South Pole in 1911. And you may have heard of the story of Amundsen and his party who reached the geographic South Pole first and returned to their base camp without loss of human life. Whereas Scott and his 4 companions got there 5 weeks after Amundsen, and they all died during their return journey. We did a comparison on their leadership styles to see which one of them had the more chance of success of reaching the South Pole. And in it, we compared them against what is known in Harvard as the 4 leadership dimensions, which are 1, having clear goals, 2, a well-defined strategy, 3, the right team and people, and 4, a plan of execution. You see, all leaders need to have these 4 things: clear goals, a strategy, the right team, and the ability to execute on that. Without those 4 ingredients, there is no leader in any sphere of society that can be successful. In the case of Amundsen, he clearly had a goal of all or nothing. His strategy was all in. He recruited the best of the best people with deep expertise and only 3-star performers. And lastly, his execution, he had a performance management system to guarantee the results, and that required fanatic discipline. Now, I'm also a sucker of discipline, and I'm fanatical about our goals at Westprop. In fact, during COVID, my daughter, fortunately, was staying with us on an island. We were trapped for a year, bad place to be, of course, on this tropical island. And we couldn't move off. And she just finished her studies at Stanford, deciding where she would go next. And she told me about a book called Measure What Matters by John Doerr. And he talks about the OKRs, the Objective Key Results, a system that he insisted as the first investor in Alphabet and Google, which is now a $2 trillion company, arguably. He insisted that the management team followed what's known now as the Google Bible. And this was a management system developed at Intel, Objective Key Results. And objectives are something we set annually, one company-wide waterfall objective, a goal that speaks to the whole company. We set it at the end of every year, and it talks to the performance of the company from January to December the following year. Everyone is focused, laser focused on that goal. And then we set quarterly key results, normally 3 or 4, that change every quarter. And we stretch the goals as far as possible. They almost look like they're impossible to achieve. But if you want the people to achieve something impossible, you have to aim high. So we have these quarterly goals, and we measure everyone's performance based on that with monthly KPIs. We have daily check-ins even, Every morning at 8 a.m., no matter where I am in the world, I stand up and I check in with my senior management team, and we tell each other what we're doing for today. And what we are doing for today must talk to our monthly KPIs, our quarterly KRs, and the annual objective of the company. We look at performance evaluation and metrics when we look at our people. We use what we call a monthly SPEAR, self-performance evaluation review, which is done by the individual and submitted to his immediate superior, and a life wheel, which is something that I designed that shows your life, how it is in balance, where the energy you're applying into your life. And I have 12 segments. We have a motto in our company: onwards, upwards, and outwards. And those cover the 12 spheres of your lives. Things like onwards is your health, is your career, is looking after yourself. Things like upwards is your family, your faith, and the outwards is the society that you're serving. So we look at everyone's well-being in the company. We're building a culture of excellence and high performance. So we need to be focused on the individual, and the feedback he's giving us or she's giving us is important. We do quarterly one-on-one pairs where the superior evaluates a performance evaluation review with 360s, and we use the balanced scorecard method, which is a quantitative and qualitative system to have performance-based benefits. And we have as much as 100% performance bonus on a monthly basis for people to be paid if they achieve the results. This is what we call the high performance winning culture at Westprop, a continual improvement system. And we have quarterly recognition awards and events to keep people excited. When people say you fail or suggest you're not good enough and that you're a failure, which happened many times in my own life, then in the words of Michael Jordan, stand strong in your own skin and don't let them tear you down. Because leadership has a lot to do with believing in yourself, even when no one else believes in you. Stephen Covey, who's one of the gurus of management, he said effective leadership is putting first things first. Effective management is discipline and carrying it out. I asked recently my Westprop board chairman, who was visiting Zimbabwe in the early morning, 6 a.m., we got up and I asked him, tell me in one sentence, what do you think leadership is? And he answered me, being one step ahead of the others. The word I want you to focus on here is ahead. I'll come back to that in a moment. But first, let me share what John Maxwell, the leadership guru, told me personally at a private dinner in a lodge that I owned in Harare in 2013. He said, leaders see more before the followers. That should be obvious, right? Leaders see more and before the followers. And something he always tells to government leaders and politicians, ask yourself, if you leave the country better for the people than when you came into office. Lastly, I want to talk about the highest form of leadership, and that is the servant and self-leadership being the backbone of success. Selfless leadership requires you to hold on to a set of values no matter what the circumstances are. To become a winner requires that your mindset is not based on feelings or temporary circumstances, but having an absolute single-mindedness to focus on the goal you want to achieve. It's required that you master the art of discipline and consistent habits that lead to daily improvements and small increments to become the better version of yourself day by day. I would like to close with a word about the people of Zimbabwe and of Africa. You see, it's not about the natural resources or fertile land or amazing wildlife and beauty that our continent has to offer, but rather it's the people that are our greatest asset. That's why the future of Africa is all about the IP and human capital, and not about the financial capital that we think is so important and continuously crying and complaining and calling from the West to send. We don't need Western capital. We have the biggest asset in the world. We have to look at the investment in our young people who can create that wealth for us for the future. We can work together to make this dream a reality. and we all have a part to play. Now, if you look at those demographics I mentioned at the start, do you know something phenomenal about Africa? That today the population of 17 years and younger amounts to approximately 650 million people. 650 million people under 17. In contrast with only 48 million people who are aged 65 and over. That means there's 1,400% more people under 17 than older than 65. And if you add the 35s to the under 35s to the population in Africa today, you get 1 billion people against about 1.46 billion in total in Africa. That means 70% of our continent is under 35 years of age. The youth under 25 in Zimbabwe is 61%. And that's why our people and the main focus is on the young people. Truly, they say that the power is in the people. And in Shona, we say, Simba ririkuni vechi kidi. It's about the power being in the youth. And now I close with the final word of hope. People sometimes ask me why it is that I do what I'm doing. What gives me the confidence that I have in Zimbabwe? Why do I keep going the way I'm going? And my answer is, I'm not looking at today or tomorrow or next week or next month or not even next year. I'm looking at 10, 20, 30, 50 years ahead. And what I see is a very nice vision of the future, where I can see where we're going. And I'm clearly focused on that place. And I know it's a very good and exciting place. I'm not worried today about the noise and distractions, because they won't be there in 10, 20, and 30 years' time. Let's start today building the future that we want to see, people. In conclusion, I'd like to take you back to my talk where it started, and about staying ahead of the rest. I would ask you to stay focused, because staying ahead is something in the future. And when you stay focused on staying ahead, you are constantly living in the future that you're creating. This is what leadership is all about for me. Focusing on the future, delivering to the people more of what we do and not what we say, and not looking at the current circumstances we're in. Now, just like Nike says it, just do it. And in Gandhi's words, he says, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. And in the words I gave to a Jewish gentleman in Kuala Lumpur in 2014, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? And he answered me, it sounds like Hillel, who said, if I'm not for myself, who am I for? And if I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, then when? Well, the time is now, and the time is yours, and it's time for you. Thank you, everyone. I'm now open to any questions and answers for the next probably 8 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kenneth. That was a very, I wrote down a lot of points. I wrote down a lot of points that you said, that you made mention. And it was really a very powerful session. I'm sure that every single person here has one question or the other. So if you have your question ready, please kindly raise up your hands for any questions that you probably have right now. So Mr. Ken can actually take them all together. You can use the reaction button for your questions. And the first 5 people, okay, Bright, okay, can I get more hands so we can just get to it? So I wrote something down that it said the solution do not depend on the politicians, right? It said, but on us as individuals working together with our minds and our hands working together for a better continent. I added that, for a better continent by myself. So I think it is not dependent on anyone, but on you as an individual. And if you are a young person, what are you doing? What are you doing to put yourself in that space to adding value to the continent that you belong to, especially for a continent like ours, you know, as African? Okay, Manti, I also wrote something down. It said, servant leadership. He said, to be a leader doesn't require someone to be elected or appointed in an office. Then I added, it's attitude. It is attitude. It is character. It is mindset. It is not until you sit on a position or in a particular position as a leader, that is when you start to, exhibit some leadership traits. It starts from where you are not even appointed at all, but you start, adding values to these people, to this setting, to this particular group of people. Okay, I think I will just have to go ahead with, okay, Temitope. So one more person for question and feedback, and then we are done. Okay, I've gotten my 5 people ready. So Bright, I will start with you. In 1 minute, your question, and if it's feedback, it's also welcome. Please go ahead. Unmute your mic.
All right, good evening, everyone. I guess you can hear me. Thank you for the section. It was quite interesting. Now, my question is this. The truth remains that
Right, we cannot see you. Can you please turn on your camera?
Oh, where I am is actually dark.
That's okay. Carry on, Bright. Carry on with your question. Don't worry.
All right. So now my question is this: the truth remains that the economic growth and prosperity of every society is largely tied to the political sector or the political economy. And the truth is, back in Africa here, right? We one of the challenges we've had over time is that we see a situation where the continent is not progressive to an extent because the political economy is not in place, being piloted by the politicians. And many times I seem to have observed that even the West are not helping matter because there are many businesses. You start a business in some of these African countries, take for example, Nigeria, and many times you see due to 1 or 2 politicking, the business have to go down due to demand for bribe and all of that.
Right.
So
What is your question? Give us the question.
My question is now, how exactly can we change this this reoccurrence of having to start a business and then 1 or 2 policy will just lead to the end of that business dying off and all of that.
Right. I get the question. Okay, let's have 2 more questions and then I'll answer all of them because I've got 3 minutes left.
Please go ahead. Please, you're still muted.
Hello,
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good evening and thank you very much, Mr. Sharp. The session was really helpful. And my own question for this evening is one question which is on focus. You spoke about focus. In a world wherein I would say it's chaotic, so how do you, or what are the techniques that you use to stay focused so that you can achieve your goals? So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Jim.
I'll come back to that question. Thank you. One more.
Yeah, Jim, you can unmute your mic. You've been asked to unmute.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm an advocate for mentorships. Can you speak to the role that mentoring can contribute to the development of your methodologies and your thought process?
Okay. Thank you, Jim.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Can we have Ellen?
Hi, I hope you guys can hear me. It was a beautiful, beautiful sermon, a very beautiful session. Sorry, I'm from work, church. It was, thank you so much. Inspiring as well. And I think why it resonated most with me is because this is something that I'm working on currently. I should start by mentioning that I am Zimbabwean, just living outside of the country, but I should be going back there within the month. And my whole thought process is that I need to do something that not only benefits myself and my family, but something that benefits at least my community in the minimum, then my city next, and then, if possible, the country as well as the continent. Now, I'm trying to look at this from a strategic point of view. And I'm wondering, Mr. Sharp, how best I can angle myself or position myself as a business person who has an interest, a strategic interest in benefiting the community at large within the country of Zimbabwe, without being political.
Okay, thank you, Ellen.
I'll take those 4 questions to start with. I'll answer the last one first. Maneru, my sister, Ellen. Maybe she's gone back to mute. So I'll answer your question because, you know, it's really up to you to identify the skill sets that you have. That's my timer, but I'm giving myself another 5 minutes just so the people have been delayed to start the next meeting. You know, it's about focusing on the skill set you have, your own unique set of talents and gifts. I wouldn't waste time in trying to go into a field that you have no expertise on. And I would say whatever you've been doing in the UK, I think you said you are at the moment, or wherever you're based, how would you look at taking some of what you've learned there back home to have a competitive advantage? Because in any business you need to know that when you get in, there are going to be competitors. Of course, in Africa, there are more opportunities, and we can take examples of what we find in the developed world and replicate them in our homes, in our countries, and make a successful business out of them. But ultimately, it's a question of, you know, what your skill set is and where you think you have a competitive advantage. So my advice to you would be to start small and test the market. You know, it's all about iteration. In software development, they say when you build a wireframe, which is the idea of the business, it never really ends up being the product that you finally sell. So you kind of change as you go the business model until you find the formula that works. And then once you've found a formula that works on a small scale, then you can start increasing your investment and exposure and scaling it to produce results. Does that make sense, Helen? I'll go back to the first gentleman's question on politics. You know, it's a valid point what you're saying, that our lives are in some way or another controlled or dependent upon policy of what politicians put in place. Yes, that is true. But across Africa today, I would say the generality of the continent is that our countries are pro-business. There are very few countries that are having forced centralized economies or socialist Marxist policies that prevent the people of Africa from accessing business, from becoming an entrepreneur, and from starting something. So I would say to you, in your local area, work with the local authorities, work with the local communities. And there's laws in all countries. You have to make sure you're compliant with the laws, so you get the necessary licenses. But surely once you've got the license, the involvement of a politician in your business should be zero. I found working with government very difficult. I've got a partner actually in one of my companies with the city of Harare. They're a 30% equity partner, and you find that private equity and public ownership just is very difficult to match. So my advice would be stay private, keep under the radar, focus on what you know you're in control of, and start to lobby your local community, your local authorities to work towards those goals and towards those policies that you want to see. At the end of the day, the people that are elected in your constituency at local and national level are there to represent your interests. And if there's a policy or law that you need to be passed, you should be working with them and making sure that happens. Coming to the middle question from the lady, I think it was Sister Manti. In terms of discipline, you know, daily discipline is something that is very important, and it starts with different forms. I'm a Christian, I'm a man of faith. So with me, it starts about the first thing in the morning when I wake up, even before I get out of bed, is I read the scriptures, a verse of the day, and I interpret that scripture into my own understanding and send out a small verse, a sermon, and I post it on my social media channels. And then it's about keeping your mind healthy physically. So that requires physical exercise. It requires enough sleep. It requires a good diet. And you need to stay strong. You need to be physically strong to stay on top of the demands of the business world today. So I think it's about small, simple goals. You know, something I've started recently is just getting out into the sunlight every morning. I've learned through some books that I'm reading that the infrared light in the sun in the early morning hours, just after sunrise to say before 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, are the healthiest type of light for our bodies to have super strong defense system, for our mitochondria in our skin to be developed, and our natural defense systems to be at the top. We need that sunlight, that early morning sunlight. They in the countries like where I am at the moment in the UK, they don't have a lot of sun, so there's infrared light therapy that's done in various spas. You can go and stand in front of the light for 20 minutes and have the same effect. But there are lots of biohacks that you can do to stay young, to stay fit, to stay strong, and to have a clear mind. But it all comes back down to one thing: discipline. Self-discipline needs to be part of the ingredient of any success. And back to Jim, I think. I had a note written down here, but maybe Jim, if you could just repeat that question for me, if you're still there. Do we still have Jim on the call?
Yes, the question was about mentorship. What is the role of mentorship in your philosophy?
You know, I've avoided mentorship, to be honest with you, for a long time. In the last 10 years, I've taken one mentoree on. I adopted a Black Zimbabwean boy, fostered him when he was 15 and mentored him throughout his life. He's now a chief legal officer. He went through law school. And I believe in making a difference in people's lives, one life at a time. So mentorship is a good thing, but I think you have to be ready for it as an individual. I don't think everyone has to mentor a mentoree, and not everyone is capable of doing it. I think you as an individual have to feel the calling to offer mentorship. I think it's generally a good thing, and it depends on the mentors, right? So we need people that are in positions of responsibility, of good moral ethics, of a sound value system, and have been successful. And I would answer it in this way, actually, and I'd give this message to all the youth out there that is listening. Don't listen to any advice of anyone who's never achieved or done anything worthwhile in their life. Because there are many people that you would want to seek out to get the right type of advice, but there's a numerously larger number of people that you wouldn't want to get advice from. So I would say to potential mentorees, be very careful about who's mentoring you and what you're taking in. I think there's a lot of knowledge in today's world through technology. AI is something that's already upon us, and the access to information is available almost to everyone. So I think do your own research, you know, do a lot of reading, and look to the individuals that inspire you, that maybe you don't even need to be mentored by them, but by following their example and by learning from them, you can watch them through social media, you can watch them as examples in your communities. I think that form of leadership is much more effective than going and sitting with someone who maybe at random was given to you as a mentor and trying to learn something from that person that maybe isn't applicable to you or doesn't align to your value system. So I'd say it needs to be flipped on its head, and mentorship to work as a model needs to be mentoree driven rather than mentor driven.
Yes. Thank you very, very, very much. Can we give Mr. Ken the Hawaii clap? Thank you very much. And God bless you. God really bless you.
Thank you, everyone, and God bless you all. You're doing a great job. As I often say, Pura Vida in Costa Rica, it means pure life. Keep going forward. Go, go, go. Africa's the future. It's the place where it's all happening. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much. Can we give him the Hawaii clap again as we proceed? Thank you very much. All right. If you still have a question or a feedback, you can kindly send your question to the admin, and it will be taken down. And of course, you will get an answer to the question. And that's why it's very important to join our Telegram community. And I'm sure that admin will surely drop the link to the Telegram group on the chat, so that you can also be part of our Telegram channel. And of course, the closed group where you get to ask any question that you have, and you will get response to whatever question it is. All right. Where is Glory? Glory, where are you? Glory.
Yeah.
Right. It is time to go.
Right. I was just being overwhelmed by all the conversations, and I was just taking notes. It was a very interesting time. I tell you for free. Yes.
Okay. So right about now, it is time to choose or to draw the line. I don't know why I'm so excited, because it feels like I'm going to win today's virtual appearance, and I'm really feeling popped up and then Suze it up. Sorry, I'm still in the mood of Sizu. That's from the last assembly. So it is time to know who won the best virtual appearance. And of course, we got a lot of names, a lot of suggestions on the back end, and I'm just going to check to the back end to see. So we have William, we have Christopher. Please, can we put light as well as I William is smiling. Okay, so we have Williams, we have Christopher, we have Ellen, we have Glory, and we have Okpeyemi. Okay, it is time.
Wow.
Time. Where's Glory? Glory, it seems like the
this
like you right now. Okay. All right.
really
So ladies and
something
gentlemen, time to vote. Please, it is time to vote between William, Christopher, Ellen, Glory, and of course myself. Why am I not in this picture? Okay. Okay, so I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, your options for your candidates for the best virtual appearance for this week. Okay, let the votes start coming in. So we have William, we have Christopher, we have Ellen, we have Glory, and of course we have myself. So who is going to go home with this? Who is going to go home with this prize today? With this prize today, I cannot wait. Ah, no, please look at me. Just take a look at me. Take a look at my face. I'm seeing a lot of Ellen.
Okay, I mean now that's not fair, really. That's not fair.
What did I do? What did I do?
Don't say your market right now. No.
Yourself. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to sell myself. So you can see I'm very pretty. I'm good looking. I'm well dressed, and I've been smiling. Ah, thank you, Patty. Thank you. It's looking like Ellen is going to win this battle. This is not fair.
Oh, wow.
This is not fair. This is not fair. This is not fair. Who is going to win today? Who is going to win? Who's going to win? Glory is not smiling, so she's out. Who is going to win? Who's going to win?
Please, they should names should start be dropping in the chat room for those people that are just joining in.
Go up, Ellen, no, go up. Thank you. So, admin, who is the winner? Who is the winner? I cannot wait to be announced. So I'm going to announce myself. I can't wait. It feels so good.
Okay, me don't even dare.
Don't worry, I'm daring already. Admin, who is the winner? Okay.
So I think we have a winner now, Okoyemi.
Yes, we have a winner. And the winner for today's virtual appearance is Helen.
Congratulations, Helen.
Do you want to give a shout out to everyone who voted for you? You've been asked to unmute. Do you want to give a shout out to everyone who voted for you? You've been asked to unmute. Okay.
Helen, please unmute your mic.
I think it's finding difficult to unmute.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you, you guys. Although I'm exhausted, but thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend, you guys.
Congratulations.
All right, Ellen, thank you and congratulations.
Okay, Okoyemi, your mic is.
Oh,
Unmute yourself.
sorry, I'm back now. We are going to be announcing the member of the week. And of course, we got a lot of, numbers, we got a lot of people, tied numbers, but we have just one person who stood out. And this person won before. And actually, I think we all need to, buckle up and, put in more work and more effort, because this person I'm about to announce actually won before and is winning again. And the interesting thing is not just someone like us, it's someone who is, protecting his country and doing so much for his country. And this person is Christopher. Christopher actually won again. Can we spotlight him? Can we spotlight Christopher? Congratulations, Christopher. Christopher Ninlang, not Christopher Obima, sorry. Congratulations, Christopher, on winning the member of the week today. And good work, kudos to you. More members from you, more news. Keep sharing the good news, keep inviting people, and keep doing what you're doing. And for everyone, in case you're new here, every week we invite as many people to the assembly as possible, so that you can actually win a member of the week, and anyone can win the member of the week irrespective of who you are. Just invite people to the assembly, talk to them about what you've been enjoying at the assembly and all the benefits that you've been getting from the assembly, just like we had today, and of course we had last week Saturday. And for the best virtual appearance, you win when you dress very good and you're good looking and you come very popped up, your camera is sharp, your background is sharp to the assembly, and you got the big smile and all. That is when you get to win our best virtual appearance. So congratulations to the two guys, and we love you. So Glory, it's up to you.
Okay, well done, Christopher. Congratulations to
Glory,
everyone that has won.
sorry. Before you go on, Christopher, do you want to say something? Give a shout out to the community.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate the people. And big thanks to those people that I invited who honored the invitation. Oh, thank you so much.
All right, Christopher.
Okay, congratulations once again, Christopher. Okay, so very quickly, don't leave yet. We still have some announcements and of course some dancing at the end of the section. So let's take our announcements. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. I am Okoyemi Omoyele, and I will be taking you through the closing announcements. The Entrepreneurs Assembly holds every Saturday at 6 p.m. GMT +1, 8 p.m. CAT. Check your time zone so that you do not miss out. And also remember to set your reminder. We have interesting activities for each Saturdays of the month. Starting from the last Saturday of the month, we have the Entrepreneurs Virtual Market, where you get the chance to market your product and services, and an avenue to give your business the needed visibility to various entrepreneurs on our platforms and social media pages for possible customers, clients, and partners. Third Saturdays are for our fireside chats, where we get to connect with 5 wonderful African entrepreneurs across the continent doing exploits in their business. They share inspiring stories of their entrepreneurship journey, their challenges, and their success stories. Second Saturdays are days we have guest speakers comprising of international thought leaders, bringing their expertise and wealth of experience to the assembly, speaking across a variety of topics in various fields. And of course, the fourth Saturday is when we get to listen to our president and founder, Dr. Sumi Smart Francis, as he shares his wealth of knowledge on various topics, which are always inspiring and life-transforming moments. Trust me, you do not want to miss listening to him. Do well not to miss any of these power-packed Saturdays, and always use the link to join, www.ayoreorganization.com/assembly, which has been dropped in the chat box for you. Follow at AYE Organization and Africa's Young Entrepreneurs on all social media platforms to keep abreast of happenings in the organization. Have you done that? If you haven't, remember to do so immediately after the assembly. Don't leave yet, as there will be a short time for music where we get to dance and share moments of fun and laughter as we connect in the chat room while having spotlight on different people. This will take 5 to 10 minutes and you don't want to miss out. And of course, I'm looking forward to chatting with you in the comment section. See you next week.
Thank you, admin. For those just joining us for the first time, that is the announcements, and I'm sure that you've taken note of everything that was said. Before we take our closing mantra and then we dance, I have just one announcement to make, and which is the closed group. So I would like to say congratulations to those already in their different groups, and I hope that you are all enjoying your groups already and having a nice time. So again, the function of this group includes sharing of information, providing assistance, guidance, and forming lasting relationships that would ignite business partnership, collaborations. Of course, they are a great way, to form closer bonds with fellow members and create also bond with the organization. So if you are yet to find yourself in any group, kindly send a DM through our official WhatsApp communication line. The admin will drop the line into the chat box right now. So you can send a DM and then you get added to the different groups that you'll be added to. And for those of you already in the group, we have some interesting group names. We have the group Kigali, we have group Addis Ababa, we have group Accra, and so on. Please feel free to network, to engage, and to, we are one family. We share one love, we love Africa, and we share one bond. And of course, we are one family. So feel free to connect. Like I've been seeing how connections, has been going on in some of these groups. And so as soon as you're joining your group, you'll be welcomed by your group leader. And of course, you will begin to see the interactions. And if you have any question from any teachings, any session, you're free to also drop on your group and it to be attended to. Thank you very much. Glory, it's up to you. Kindly take us out by the closing mantra. Thank you.
Okay, so to add to what Opeyemi just said, that the closed group also help us to connect better and feel the oneness of being an African. So yes, it's about that time where we will get to dance, but about now we'll be taking our closing mantra. So we'll put our hands together like this as a symbol of unity and oneness, because of course we are Africans and we are united. So when I say African young entrepreneurs, if we can achieve this much alone, you reply with me, how much more can we achieve together? So are we ready? So let's go. African young entrepreneurs, if we can achieve this much alone,
You're rocking with the best. This is Africa's Young Entrepreneurs, where African entrepreneurs at home and in the diaspora come together to connect, collaborate, and build strategic partnerships. Join us now.
Apoli, Tate, Giali, Funa. Apoli, Fuma, Giali, Funa. Louiselle. Apoli, Tate, Giali, Funa. Louiselle.
Écoutez la guida solo tengenate comme ça la casse claire rakataka comme ça là il faut danser. Hey, il se te fait déranger comme ça là de tourner la tête le cou comme ça là il faut danser. Virisigné, c'est le dérangement. Attends la gougou le tambour de man. Levez les mêmes mains tourner les reins équilibré. Hasta la vista. Danser, danser, danser. Danser, danser, danser.
On est virus. C'est fait pour danser, pour danser. Nous sommes un virus dans vos vies. À l'opium, on va vite comme Messi. Le sang, il vient d'ici. Est envahi, est conquis. On attaque avant ma king touch. Et quand ça danse, on dit don't touch. Danser, danser, danser. Danser, danser, danser. Master Just, chacalisme-moi le système là.
Brequeto mwana, machekeleto mwana, ba mwana, ba repepe bise. Mudigila tu mwana, les avant pour danser quand Jean-Jean va bise, ba repepe bise.
Docteur Podium, M Afrique Force. À la pied, pied, pied. À la pied, pied, pied. Max Gradel, Gervinho, Yaya Touré champion. À la pied, pied, pied. À la pied, pied, pied. Florian Ezui, Aurélien Chedjou, Richou Kingston, André Ayou Mopao.
Allez, Bélise. Tout le monde est marqué les propositions de Chicago. Rekou, 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 Magare. Allez, prends-toi. Young Mavericks, Young Megaphone, Master Gas, Barabas, wow.
You're rocking with the best. This is Africa's Young Entrepreneurs, where African entrepreneurs at home and in the diaspora come together to connect, collaborate, and build strategic partnerships. Join us now.
Graduate.